Hey there, I'm Steve, and welcome to Jamsin Entertainment. And welcome to the conversation. Just before we get started, there are many ways you can help. You can like and subscribe so you never miss the conversation. But most importantly, please share this video. Get the word out there. There's a community where we can talk about all the things that we love. Today on Throwback Thursday, we're looking at Samurai 2, The Duel at Ichijoi Temple. Hopefully I didn't butcher it too much. It's not looking too good for this franchise, this trilogy. This movie is filler. Filler for this one duel that... Okay, so the theme throughout the movies, at least so far, I'm not sure about the next one, is Musashi is on his journey to learn to become the man that he was meant to be. And before I go any further... Boy, do these movies so far do no service to Musashi Miyamoto. None. I did a little research into Musashi, and his story is far more interesting than these two movies I've seen so far. I'll put a link in the description below of the video I watched that's pretty well researched and informative about Musashi Miyamoto. There are some things that kind of pull from his actual story. Like in the first film, his family hates him because he's an unruly kid, and Musashi and his father didn't get along too well. Even though he was a great student of his father, he still wanted to learn more, and so he went to live with his uncle. That's just a little bit of his story, and that's already far more interesting than learning that off screen his family hates him. No, him and his dad don't see eye to eye in the real Musashi's life. So that's one thing that they kind of got right. His name is not Takizo. His name is Musashi Miyamoto because he was born and raised in the town Miyamoto. I'm not sure if that works for all Japanese names, if your surname is going to be the town you grew up in. But at least for Musashi, that's the case. Like I said, this movie is just filler. There's a pointless love triangle that wasn't in the first one, but they make it in this one. The two women in the last one, Akemi and Otsu, they both fell in love with Musashi, and now there's this love triangle just to fill in time to do the duel part. I do that in quotations because it's just so drawn out and so lackluster. Yes, lackluster. This movie could have been like a half-hour standalone episode. They could have done that for each of these. More than likely. I still haven't seen the third one, but more than likely, they could have done like all of these in one film. I mean, the first one has a little more story structure than this one, so it has that going for it. But this one, I mean, they bring back Matahashi reasons. Like every cast member character from the first movies in this one, just for filler. That is it. Now, the movie starts out with a duel, and even that's not exciting because the winning strike happens mostly off screen. One thing I'm noticing between the samurai films I've watched so far, and I've only seen two directors, Akira Kurosawa and... I'm sorry, I'm going to have to look at this while I pronounce it so I don't butcher it too bad. Hiroshi Inagaki. I'm sorry for mispronouncing it. Big thing I noticed between the two of them. Hiroshi can capture beautiful landscape shots, and it looks great. Even when it's a set, and you can tell it's a set. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I don't care that it's on a set. I mean, some of it is in actual fields and mountains. I'm just pointing out that he's a great cinematographer. He's not good at action. I mean, he does shoot like bigger action scenes, and it looks good, but the smaller action scenes, the editing just isn't as good. Akira Kurosawa does a much better job than Hiroshi Inagaki, especially with the one-on-one duels. The first one, Musashi fights this samurai named Baiken, and the killing strike happens mostly off screen. And what I mean by that is you see Musashi, and you see that the sword goes off screen to where Baiken is, but you don't see the killing stroke. They should have had another cut or turn the camera and show the killing strike. They don't do that, and they do that a few times. Like, there's another duel. So the duel is around this one dojo, and Musashi is just going through the students like they're nothing, because to him, they are nothing. He's a young master. They refer to him that way in the movie. And he challenges the dojo master. And the dojo master, for whatever reason, he's listening to the students and other influences instead of actually challenging him. Now, he actually does challenge him towards the end of the movie, but he just, for whatever reason, doesn't take on the challenge. His brother just kind of comes out of nowhere. There's no real mention about him until, oh, your brother's home. And his brother's like, well, okay, I'll take up the honor, bring the honor back to the dojo. He goes to confront Musashi. They exchange some blows, and then the rest of the fight is off screen. Why? It's supposed to be a duel movie. I know it's supposed to be around one duel, but there's a series of duels. If you're going to have a series of duels, show all of them. And then you have this other wandering samurai. Let me look him up. Sorry. Kojiro Sasaki. And he kind of helps out the dojo, but he doesn't at the same time. You think the duel is going to be between Kojiro and Musashi, and it just doesn't. He observes Musashi, probably because maybe the next film they're going to fight? I don't know. I'm still going to hold off on rating the trilogy until I watch the final one, which is Duel at Ganryu Island. But it's not looking good. It's not looking good for this trilogy. I'm starting to learn, even though I have an interest in getting into older movies, different genres, I probably just shouldn't buy the movies. I haven't bought movies in a while because I've bought so many at once. So I'm going to go through all those. I should review every movie I own before I move on to buying more movies. And there's a bunch of streaming services which gives me access to even more movies, but we'll see. There's a bunch of movies I have on my wish list that I'd like to get to, would like to watch. Some of them I've seen before, but I'd love to own them and review them. Some of them I've never seen. I'm kind of hesitant to buy things I haven't seen before, but I mean, I've never seen the Yojimbo series, and that was great. I like Yojimbo. I don't know. Well, you'll find out when I find out, because there's other. So I also have the Lone Wolf and Cub. I'm going to review that at some point, and just, well, you're on this journey with me. Just like I'm watching the journey of Musashi Miyamoto. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on the second samurai movie, Duel at Ichijoi Temple. What are your thoughts on the trilogy in general? Does the third one get better, or is it all about the same? If you like what you saw, like it. If you think other people like it, share it. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and live your imagination.